Hey, what's up, everybody? So we're here and we're at a different theater than we normally are because we decided last minute that we're going to go see Renfield. And nothing to say that it wasn't like coming out and we forgot about it or anything like that. Well, not all of us forgot about it. I wasn't sure when I was going to see it. I know I was going to see it. It just was a matter of, when. But plans that we had for tonight got canceled. So we're here. Now I'm doing a review for Renfield. So, looking very much forward to this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing how Nicholas Cage does his Dracula. Anywhere where he can be like super Cage and especially play Dracula. Come on, I gotta see this movie. So, hopefully, like what I'm expecting out of it is it just to be cheesy, entertaining. It seems like it's really gory. Just looking for all of that and just looking to have fun. I just want to have fun with this movie. So hopefully I'll get what I want and we'll be having some fun. As you can see all the cars going by and everything like that. So I guess we'll see you guys in a little bit and you'll get my thoughts and review. Hey everybody, and I'm back and Zach is hanging out once again, trying to figure out where I've been. But so just got back from Renfield and Zach, you want to be that involved in this video this time? He just misses me, right, Lug? Now he's gonna go itch himself. Now he doesn't want anything to do with me, but nonetheless, yeah. So Renfield. Okay, I don't think that I can spoil anything in this movie, just in general. I think that there's still some stuff like. Everybody kind of knows the overall story, so I don't think there's going to be really any spoilers, perhaps. I'm going to mention something that's right at the beginning of the movie, so you're not really going to like be super spoiled unless you're trying to go into the movie like completely blank. But everybody knows what the basic story of this movie, just based upon the trailers, because it's very straightforward. We're dealing with Renfield, and we're dealing with... And this is the coolest thing, I think, of the movie. We're dealing with the classic Universal monster Dracula and Renfield. To the point that the beginning of the movie, they actually... This is the biggest spoiler that I'm going to give, but it's right at the beginning of the movie. They actually put Nicholas Cage and I'm sorry, I do not remember at the top of my head the actor's name that plays Renfield, but they put them into scenes directly from... Dracula, back at the original Universal Monsters movie Dracula. It's great. Seeing Nicolas Cage do some of the Bela Lugosi stuff, it's fucking fantastic. It's great. And so you're dealing with the original, the actual original, like, characters, right? And, of course, Renfield is, like, lamenting about the fact that he's Dracula's familiar, and that it's an abusive relationship. And that's what the movie's really all about. It's all about different types of abusive relationships, but really the one between Dracula and Renfield coming to terms with exactly what that relationship between them is. And so, of course, you see it in the trailers, he's going to the self-help group for people that, like assholes and are attracted to assholes and those types of things. And so you have that in there. And that's all juxtaposed with everything else that's going on and him trying to be a normal person or to actually like love himself, right? And then in between, we have a kind of a cop drama that's going on with Awkwafina's character, and her father was killed by the local mafia or mob or whatever you want to call them, the thugs, and she's trying to take them down, but even though she's, this highly regarded, top of her class cop, she's been basically pushed down to doing DUI checkpoints. And that's because her father was like the lead at the police the police station, the police officer. What the hell's wrong with me? And he was killed by these people, and then nobody wants to take them out. So there is that like B story that's going on at the same time that this, and she ends up being like a relatively strong character, and Renfield looks up to that. as he meets her. And you see a lot of the stuff in the trailers. The trailer really doesn't give a whole lot away, except for maybe a couple of character reveals that you don't know. You have the crime boss that's there. It's this lady, and she's very, very famous, and I can never fucking say her name. Starts with an S. But I believe she was in 24. She's been in a lot of stuff. She's got a very deep voice. I believe she's Indian, but or she might be Middle Eastern. I don't remember off the top of my head. But once you see her, I was like, oh, it's her. And I really love her, and she's got a very distinct voice as well. And she was really good in this movie. But she's meant just to be kind of intimidating and just kind of be there and be the big thing. And then you got Ben Schwartz, who plays her son, who's kind of like a doofus type of crime kid. Never has killed anybody, but he thinks he's hot shit type of guy. Ben Schwartz is fucking great in this movie. I think that there is definitely a big, again, I have to use the word juxtaposition here, but between him and Renfield, it's two different sides of kind of the same coin. And it's great seeing them, where Renfield has done a lot of the stuff that, Ben Schwartz's character, God, I don't remember if it's Tommy or fuck. I already forget character names because I've just seen this movie. But his Ben Schwartz's character, God, and people are gonna fucking get on me on that. But his character, like I was saying, basically kind of is almost like playing pretend with the stuff that he's done that Renfield has actually done. But Renfield's very timid, and he's very boisterous and outspoken about him being evil and loving being in this thing with everything that's going on. So it's really about Renfield himself, breaking away from Dracula's control and being his own person once again. And like I said, it's the movie. So what is the bad about the movie? Let's just say that. The bad is kind of the third act. It's just, I don't know if it's the best. Like, the conclusion is fine, but the whole section of it, I'm just kind of like, nah, okay. It works. It's serviceable. It's still funny. It's just a little, kind of catches me short. Then some of the side characters, I didn't really like the current police chief. I felt like he was kind of phoning it in. And then, and there's some stupid things that happen in the movie. Again, there's one scene where Awkwafina is talking to her sister, who happens to be an FBI agent. And, she's trying to, hide where she's at, but the sister's on speakerphone in the stupid, and she's like an FBI agent talking to her sister on speakerphone, asking about Renfield. And it's like, why would she be, unless she's in on it, which they're both trying to take down the same crime boss that killed their father. Why would you be on your speakerphone and just have it out and be fucking talking on it? I don't get that. It's not really a spoiler. I mean, unless you really think it is, but I don't think it is. But it's just there's a couple of dumb things like that, or preparing for the final thing. There's something that Awkwafina's character does that, and then she ends up just using the single thing. It's really annoying, but there's some really good, there's a callback to the beginning of the movie at the end of the film. There's a lot of random things, and I do like how they represent the relationship, the master-servant relationship, comparing it to, an abusive spouse or abusive partner, and trying to break free of that and using the self-help group, because Renfield was really just using the self-help group originally just to find victims, right? And then he got attached to these people, and that's really how he kind of got in, out there with everything. So that's basically the bad. It's not a whole lot, to be honest with you. What's the good? The humor is fucking great. There are so many times I laughed out loud and so many ridiculous things that happened in the movie. The gore is used to great effect. It is a little CGI. Maybe that'd put that kind of in the negative, but there are some practical effects that happen that look great. But even then, it's played to be over the top. We're not talking about what I'm expecting the gore and Evil Dead Rise to be, right? I'm not talking about that. I would want that to be really realistic. This is more of a comedy horror, if you want to put it in that category. And the CGI blood and the over-aggressive, CGI, blood splatter and stuff, while yes, it is CGI, I feel it's used really well to comedic effect, to be like over the top. And there are a couple moments where there are practical things that get in there that look way out of place, but they're great for what they do. And there is practical blood that is used, but it is also over the top. And it kind of matches the CGI blood that's out there. So it's got this great like it just has this really good flow. And from the moment that the movie starts, it knows what it's going to be, and then it continues on with it, and it never really lets up. And the only time it really kind of lets up is getting into the third act, and then really kind of starting it, and then it does end strong, and it does end fun. Like I said, it calls back to something in the beginning. Again, I'm so sorry that I cannot remember the actor's name that plays Renfield, but he's pretty fantastic. I was a little kind of like worried about him in the trailers, and I was just like, oh, is this what it's gonna be? But it really fits. It fits the character. Once you get to know the character better, then his portrayal of Renfield in this world, in this movie, is perfect. It's good. It's fun. It's just, I love it. Awkwafina really did a good job in this movie. I'm not the biggest Awkwafina fan, and I feel she falls into one or two categories when she gets into movies. Ones where she just acts way over the top and she's just too much, and ones like this where she's perfect. She's perfect in the role because the character is the way that it's written, and she plays that character perfectly. Like Shang-Chi, for example, I liked her in that one because she was a little more grounded to the way that she was. But I'm trying to remember the other movie I saw where she was just kind of being a really out there, look at me type of person, and it was just too much, right? I'm not talking like Crazy Rich Asians or anything like that. But I'm trying to remember the other movie. But I think she's also, I know she recently did more of like a dramedy type of movie, and that might have affected the way that she's been bringing to her roles lately. But every once in a while, I feel that, I know I've seen some like shows where she's been on it just as like a guest or something like that. And I'm not talking about the one that she had on Comedy Central for the longest time, but where those movies, she's not, in those roles where she's like trying to be a little outlandish or being a little more over the top, it doesn't fit her. But this subtle kind of like sarcastic tone, like it works. And yeah, she has a couple of cheesy lines in this that are mostly in the trailer, but overall, she's solid. It is very good. I very much liked her role. I very much liked her character. And her and Renfield really, with this like part of it, like a will they, won't they type of thing, like almost like flirting, but you don't know if it's flirting because neither of them know if it's really flirting, well, especially Awkwafina. It's good. And I think that they have really good chemistry together, and I feel that they played well off of each other. And she was a good straight man to his kind of over-the-top guy, but he was kind of a straight man too. And then, of course, you have the great and powerful Nicholas Cage. The man behind the curtain, the wizard of the film, if you will. He's great. It's not the most cagey that I want it to be. I really want it to be super over the top, but I feel like it was played extremely well. I think that he fucking nailed it. And the way I loved the best scene, I think, in terms of the ups and downs of Cage for this movie was the scene where he confronts Renfield in Renfield's new studio apartment. Because it goes from being silly to being like strangely serious to being kind of silly again to being menacing to being like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? It's a great like little, and I hate using this term, but like roller coaster of different types of performances, different Cages showing up, and they all worked. And it's great. Maybe we are going through a Cage-assance or something like that. But I really enjoyed him as Dracula. It's what I expected to be out of the movie, and I think it was more than what I expected. Overall, I really think that it's a solid film if you're just going for fun. I'm not expecting, and I never was expecting this movie to be this like high caliber return to Universal horror, but the fact that they were able to have fun with the traditional Universal horror monsters, I want to see more films like this. And Universal, are you listening to me? I know you, the executives, the CEO of Universal Studios and everything like that. You guys are all watching this video right now, and you're saying, who is this smart young man? And I'd say, thank you, I am not young. And I'm just maybe a little smart. I don't know. But um, can you please give me something, like maybe even build me to another Monster Squad type of movie where you're just having fun with everything and you're bringing back these universal monsters in fun ways and doing different things. And for the love of God, can you give me a goddamn creature from the Black Lagoon movie? Like anything. I'll take anything. The Shape of Water was the closest that you're going to get, and it wasn't your movie, and it was Guillermo's movie, and it's fucking great. But this is a step in the right direction. Taking your existing IPs, doing something different with it, showing it from a different perspective than just the traditional stuff, or trying to get dark and brooding with it, but just having fun, enjoying yourself. And this could have sequels. And if you're going to do sequels to Renfield, I think Renfield should start fighting other Universal horror monsters that come out of the woodworks. You don't have to go through Frankenstein. You can, like I said, you can go to the creature from the Black Lagoon. Get the Mummy involved. Get the Invisible Man in here. Get somebody, that is, it could be fun. The werewolf, bring him back, but put him in this universe. I like the fact that all of the bad guys, whenever they were really fighting, they all had werewolf masks and stuff like that. And those things, I think that was cool to bring into it, because werewolves and zombies don't always mix, except for when they do in really terrible movies with Hugh Jackman. But nonetheless, I think that if you took that direction, these movies would be really fun and really great, but you have to keep the same level of commitment that you had to both the craft of the jokes and the craft of the world and the characters, and find something else. What other self-help thing can he go through to give you more? So, overall, I'm going to rate this a solid 4 out of 5 hands through the chest. Well, not really hands, arms through the chest. It's just so much fun. I laughed a ton. There were things that just really caught me off guard. Again, the gore is really fun. It's over the top, and it's maybe just a little bit too much at times in terms of the non-practicality of everything, but I think it works in terms of this movie. Again, the performances are great. Your characters are really well done, and I absolutely love that it's set in the world of the Universal horror, like monster world, and that it's just bringing it more into a modern day thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the other episodes. Thanks everybody that's checked out the Super Mario Brothers movie review. Those that checked out the John Wick 4 review. I can't believe you guys are getting 3 videos this close together from me. But I really am trying to do more and to get all this stuff and make sure that this channel maybe gets to like a video a week. But if you like the content that you see here, please think about giving me a hitting that subscribe button, giving it a ring, helping a channel out. And if you guys have seen Renfield, what did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget also to check out the latest episode of the Terrible Terror podcast that'll be available sometime around the time this goes up on The Guyver. So, which was a very fun movie, which is maybe leading me into doing the sequel as well, because I kind of want to know what happens next, since the next one's made pretty, close to this one, but with David Hayter of all people. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to take care of yourselves and each other. And watch out for Nicholas Cage Draculas. They're pretty goddamn menacing.